Hey everyone, this is Derek Bros with the Conscious Resistance Network, and today is Saturday. What day is it? It is Saturday, July 25th, 2020, and I'm here to announce Expose Bill Gates International Day of Action, Part 2, coming at you again, Saturday, August 8th. Before we get into all that, though, I want to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com, which is my website. It's the home where you can find all of my content. Those of you who've been here for a while, you know the drill. Follow me at theconsciousresistance.com. Go hit Control D. You can save me to your bookmarks. Also, you want to check out the books tabs. If you're looking for solutions, guys, it's not always in my video news reports. It's in my books. You know, you might have to take some time, step away from the world, absorb some knowledge, and incorporate that into your everyday life. You also can watch all of my documentaries for free. I've been producing several documentaries for the last few years. You can watch them all for free. You can also see the trailer for our upcoming documentary, The Pyramid of Power trailer right there. And finally, follow us on Float, follow us on Minds, join us on the Hive blockchain, join my text list so you can get text updates right to your phone. Join my Telegram channel where I post so much more news than I cover in videos, articles, and status updates on these platforms. If you want to support me, you can do so at patreon.com/DerekBros. And finally, if you're looking for a video alternative to YouTube, please join library.tv, follow us at The Conscious Resistance, and you can find us at bitshoot.com/The Conscious Resistance as well. So again, before we go any further, I need to make sure you get the point of this video. August 8th, Saturday, August 8th, 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from the day that I'm recording this video, we are having another international day of action to hashtag expose Bill Gates. You guys may remember we did this. When did we do this? June 13th. So it's been over a month now. It'll be just about 2 months now when we're returning for August 8th. And on that global day of action, that international day of action on June 13th, we got hashtag expose Bill Gates. It was trending all over Twitter. It was trending online in general. There was several articles written about it from RT and others. Of course, we had it all over Facebook. We had it all over YouTube. Channels like the Corbett Report, Jason Burmis, I know that Activist Post, Wake Up News, Mind Unleashed, so many other platforms that I've associated with and friends with stepped up and they did some work to promote this as well. What I need for you guys this time, those of you who are listening to this, two main things. The first one, which I think is really important for us to help grow this again, excuse me, and to make sure that we can get it trending again, is to bother the heck out of your favorite content creators. Go over to Spiro's channel, go over to Jason's channel, go over to We Are Change, go over to BitChute and find Dan Dix, go to BitChute and find David Icke, go to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., go to all these various people and tell them, hey, there's another hashtag expose Bill Gates day. Hey, let me bother you. Let me email you. Let me comment. Let me pick up the phone and call you if I have access to that and say, please use your sizable audience to promote this cause. It's not about left. It's not about right. This is not a conservative thing. This is not a right-wing thing. I hope people get that. And it's not a left-wing thing either. But it's about everybody coming together to recognize that Bill Gates, for one, himself, but also Bill Gates as a symbol and what he represents, especially in the time right now, what I'm about to show you guys in a couple of minutes, where he's talking about vaccines, and we're literally, we're literally 3 months away from them bringing the first 100 million doses here to Houston, or not to Houston, but to the United States. And then a couple months after that, with Operation Warp Speed, 200 million doses. And by January 2021, 100 million doses. And if you guys watched my video from the other day, I showed you that Donald Trump said the military is going to be distributing these vaccines all around the country. And as we're going to see in a moment, Bill Gates is now saying multiple doses of these vaccines are needed. Let me see if I can pull up that article. So the point is, once again, like I said 2 months ago, we have a crucial window to get people to pay attention to who Bill Gates really is and what he represents, which, look, I'm going to tell you guys, it's a eugenics agenda. It is a eugenics agenda that is, it's eugenics philanthropy that pretends that himself and these other philanthropists like the Rockefellers and from the past are really out here to help the people when they have a completely different agenda involved. And even if you're not ready to go to that level of, research, if that's not, you're like, I don't know, Derek, I don't like what Bill Gates is up to, but I don't really quite believe in the eugenics thing. That's fine. Okay. What I want to recommend you guys do then is to go over here to The Last American Vagabond and to read my 3-part article series, lastamericanvagabond.com. You go over here to Bros series. You see this? Bill Gates' Web of Dark Money and Influence. And there's 3 parts in there where I go through here. The first one is very mainstream. I would say I just talk about his philanthropy and how he uses his money and his connections to keep getting richer while supposedly giving away his riches. The second one, we look at specifically at the COVID-19 operation and how many people who are involved in this thing, Fauci and many, many others, who are connected to Gates and the Gates Foundation in one way or another, and how his money, along with the Rockefellers and others, are influencing this and are guiding public health. The third part of the series gets into that deeper aspect of things. We talk about Event 201. We talk about the Rockefeller connection, that Gates is actually connected through a sixth cousin to the Rockefellers. And then they have more and more connections. We talk about the Rockefeller lockstep document, and of course we get into the eugenics discussion. My point is, Bill Gates is not who he is being promoted as. Here's our flyer from last time. August 8th is the date, though, this time. August 8th. Guys, put it in your calendar right now. Put it in your phone. You have 2 weeks. So as I said earlier, I have 2 goals for you. The first thing, the first request, contact all the people you know who are involved in content creation and media and, big channels, YouTube channels. I named a few. Let's get Mark Passio involved. I'll reach out to all my friends, but it helps if you guys do it too. And you put pressure on them as a content consumer and as a supporter and say, hey, Mark Passio, hey, Dan Dix, hey, Amazing Polly, hey, Really Graceful, and whoever else that has talked about Bill Gates and that has a stake in this, encourage them to participate, to at least make one video promoting hashtag Expose Bill Gates all over the world on August 8th, 2 weeks from today. So that's the first thing you can do for me. Go bug the heck out of all your other content creators. If you create content, if you are a content creator, if you have a channel, if you have a blog, if you have a podcast, whatever, I'm happy to come talk to you about it. Or I just encourage you to make the materials. We're in the process of making a new flyer for August 8th. We might use the pie in the face thing. And I wanted to make shirts a while back. Well, we're going to do it again. So we're bringing back Expose Bill Gates, and I need your help. The first part of the help is to encourage all of your favorite content creators to get involved, to make a video about it, and not just to do online activism, guys. Despite the pandemic, or probably in spite of and because of the pandemic, we need to be getting out there in the streets more than ever. We need to be able to go out there and talk to people. So if you need to go out and wear a mask or social distance, whatever, but I showed you guys back in June, we went to a public park and we talked to people all through the park, and most people were very receptive. We even met some Black Lives Matter supporters who knew that Bill Gates has an agenda and that Bill Gates and others, they use their philanthropy as another form of colonization and colonialism in Africa, and that they're actually putting Black lives in danger by offering them as essentially a sacrifice by testing the vaccines on them, not to mention the U.S. military force that is colonizing through military the entire continent of Africa. So there's a lot going on here, and we can get people to pay attention. But again, it has to be beyond right, beyond the left. It's not about those stupid labels. It's not about supporting Donald Trump. You can support Donald Trump if you want. That's fine. But this protest has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This movement, this online activism, and again, take it to the street and actually get out there and start talking to people. So that's what this is really about. So that's number one. Tell everybody you can. Tell your favorite content creators. Number two is to create your own event. Look, you can email me at intothelight@protonmail.com. I'll put my email up there. You can email me if you like, if you have some questions. And I will keep a running list of cities that are doing this around the world. Last time we had people in Germany, we had Australia, we had so many people all around the world and all around the US. If you want to contact me, I will post your event on the Conscious Resistance website, where we're going to put consciousresistance.com/Bill Gates. It's just going to be the consciousresistance.com/Bill Gates. And we will basically be putting all the cities, whoever wants to participate. But please don't contact me asking, what do I do? How do I do this? Look, I get that we're not all organizers. That's fine. But it's up to you to decide. This is a totally decentralized thing. I'm just one individual with this idea. Hey, let's expose Bill Gates. Other people resonate with it. And, I'm glad we were able to get it trending on Twitter. I'm glad we were able to make some of the news. They talked about me. They called me a conspiracy theorist. Oh, big surprise. But the point is, it's up to you and me and us to get out there and to spread the word. So you don't need me to tell you what to do. All you need to do is, here's the advice I'm giving you. Go on to Facebook, go on to YouTube if you're still using these platforms, or go to MeWe or go to Minds or whatever, and search for people in your area. Go to freedomcells.org and create a Expose Bill Gates cell and search for people in your area. Create an event on there and say, hey guys, I'm doing this. And if somebody comes then they're now working with you. Promote it in local groups in your area. Promote it online. Go put up flyers in the local coffee shops. You got 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You can do this. We can do this. We can get Expose Bill Gates trending again. I believe it. I think we can get it trending on Twitter. I think we can get it trending across Facebook. I think we can get it trending on Float and all the new social media platforms as well. And I think we can get more outlets to write about it, because as I'm about to show you in a second, once I shut up, Bill Gates is being forced to respond to the conspiracy theories because these ideas are growing. And, you know, they're growing. And I think overall that's good because people are questioning things. There's still some bad information out there. But overall, the fact that people are questioning Bill Gates, and even people who identify as pro-vaxxers are saying, you know what, I'm not taking that vaccine. I'm very concerned about Operation Warp Speed and about Donald Trump being aligned with these big pharma execs and how quickly they're rushing it. And why is Bill Gates talking? Why are we listening to Bill Gates? You know, all these things. So my point here is that you can do this. You don't need my advice for me to tell you how to do this. It's fine if you want to email me if you got some questions. I'm not saying don't email me, but I had a lot of people hit me up, say, hey, do you know anybody in this city? Do you know anybody in this city? And I say, no, I really haven't heard. Now it's your turn. You're the organizer. You know, you get to step up to the plate. So step out of our bubbles. Let me remind you one more time why that's important. And then we're going to go to Bill Gates' words, because this video is also talking about how Bill Gates has finally been questioned on the safety of vaccines and on the pharmaceutical companies making profits off taxpayer-funded vaccines. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But again, you don't need me to tell you how to do this. One ask, go out there and tell your favorite content creator to spread the word. Encourage them to make a video at the very least. Encourage them to hit the streets. Encourage them to use their social media to push Expose Bill Gates over the next 2 weeks and on Saturday, August 8th. Saturday, August 8th, I'll write that. And the other thing is, I think this should be, how about we do this, guys, here, right now. We're going to do this. Saturday, August 8th, and every second Saturday of the month until people stop listening to Bill Gates. Every second Saturday of every month, starting this coming month in August. Can we do that? All right. Every second Saturday of every month, get out there in the streets, talk to people online about Bill Gates. Because as I said, this vaccine is coming in the next 2.5 months to the United States, according to, you know, the powers that wish they were. And it will be here for sure by January 2021. And it's going to spread in other places around the world. So right now is the crucial window we have to get people to question who the freak this guy is and what his real agenda is. I also want to show you this. Look. Somebody, an awesome supporter, made these flyers. They're kind of vertical. See if you can see. Okay, so we'll start on this side. It says Expose Bill Gates. Number one, these first 3 or 4 are links to, it's like an explanation and then a link to the documentary and the QR code. These are James Corbett's 4-part Bill Gates documentary right there. And then the bottom 3 are my 3-part article, Bill Gates' Web of Dark Money. So those link to my articles that I wrote for Last American Vagabond. And then you flip it over. And we've got, what do we got here? We got, some stuff from RFK. This is from Really Graceful. Jeffrey Epstein, Eugenics Connection from Press for Truth. Spiro. So, I mean, a lot of independent media. And a supporter made this and sent this to me. And we have these files on our website. If you need these files, reach out to me. We made several different versions of this. We just printed up a whole bunch and we went out to the streets and spread information like that. So you can do it. So let's do this. Every second Saturday of every month, beginning August 2020. If you feel inclined, use social media, get your body out there, and use the hashtag Expose Bill Gates. Our next, international day of action is August 8th. Saturday, August 8th. Everywhere. We got 2 weeks. So get out there. And if you need these, Amanda and other people in Houston, I can get them to you. I can send you the file, or I still have a stack of them if you want them directly. But all right, let's get into Bill Gates real quick. Now that I wanted to make sure to really focus so the video is Expose Bill Gates Day Part 2. I've talked for 14 minutes about that now. It's probably enough. So let's go on to the information from Bill Gates. So Bill Gates reemerged from his basement the other day, and he did 2 interviews. He was on CBS's News with Norah O'Donnell, and he was doing like a town hall on CNN. They just sat there and all of him, Anderson Cooper and the other guys just like looking at, oh my God, Bill Gates, he's so smart. So he's back. He's out of his parents' basement, and he came out to warn that multiple doses of the vaccine are going to be necessary, that schools could be closed until fall 2021, and that serious mistakes are being made with the handling of this COVID-19 response. And we always have to ask and wonder, why the heck are people listening to Bill Gates? He can't even really build a virus-free computer, much less keep us safe from anything. And who the heck appointed him anything? But he's not been appointed. He's never been voted in. This is how the technocrats operate. They create their own power, and they interject it into our society. So here's the interview, CBS News from July 23rd. Bill Gates says serious mistakes. And I have two sections that I want to pull up to you guys. Hold on, I got my notes here. Where? Excuse me, guys. Okay, Gates interview 1530. Okay, let's go to 1530. Let me make sure you guys can hear this before I play it. I know sometimes I forget to share the audio, and you guys, I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. All right, here we go. Bill Gates, 1530. Right here he gets questioned on vaccines. Check this out.
Approval will be the end of the epidemic.
Well, I want to ask you, you mentioned side effects. The side effects for the Moderna vaccine sound concerning. We looked. After the second dose, at least 80% of participants experienced a systemic side effect, ranging from severe chills to fevers. So, are these vaccines safe?
Well, the FDA, not being pressured, will look hard at that. The FDA is the gold standard of regulators, and their current guidance on this, if they stick with that, is very, very appropriate. And you know, the side effects were not super severe. That is, it didn't cause permanent health problems for the things there. Moderna did have to go with a fairly high dose, and so.
Can you guys see how awkward he is when somebody actually challenges him on the safety of the vaccines? He's like, oh, they weren't that serious. 80% of people got sick in different ways. It's not that serious.
To get the antibodies. Some of the other vaccines are able to go with lower doses to get responses that are pretty high, including the J&J and the Pfizer. And so there's a lot of characteristics of these vaccines. It's great that we have multiple of them that are
Bill,
going out there. And yes, I think
you know the data better than I do.
government-
But Bill, the data showed that everybody with a high dose had a side effect.
Yeah, but some of that is not dramatic, where it's just super painful. But yes, we need to make sure there's not severe side effects. The FDA, I think, will do a good job of that, despite the pressure.
When the heck has the FDA done anything good? I mean, that's the thing, is the FDA, the FCC, the CDC, all of them are captured agencies. At one point in this interview, because I listened to this whole horrid thing, the 28 minutes, and I got a little dumber listening to it, but I had to do it for you guys. At one point he says, the FDA is the gold standard, and I'm tempted to write an article about all the corruption in the FDA just to respond to Bill Gates.
How many doses of the vaccine will we need?
Well, none of the vaccines at this point appear like they'll work with a single dose. That was the hope at the very beginning. Maybe one of them, particularly in the second generation, won't surprise us. We hope just two, although in the elderly, sometimes it takes more. And so making sure we have lots of elderly people in the trial will give us that data.
You've said some more than 7 billion doses. That's what we'll need.
Well, if what you're trying to do is block all the transmission, then you need to get 70-80% coverage on a global basis. So that it's unbelievably big numbers.
All right, right there, you guys heard it. 70 to 80% of global coverage is what he wants to do, and you can see the smirk on his face, guys. This guy, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and try to speculate. I know you guys see the way he responds. Okay, I got one other question here. 21 minutes. So again, this is Norah O'Donnell, the evening news editor, if I believe correctly, of CBS. And it's kind of weird because it seems like Bill Gates wasn't really prepared for these questions. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to believe that he would get on TV and it wouldn't be scripted. But this lady does seem to be pressing him at least further than anyone else I've ever seen. Even if that means, Bill Gates was aware, hey, I'm going to ask you about the dangers of these vaccines. The the point is, it's a question I've never heard anybody else ask him. Hey, and shout out to Spiro. He's on board. Spiro, check out his channel. You see his comment right there, hashtag expose Bill Gates. Check out his work. He does great work. That's it. We need everybody on board for Expose Bill Gates on August 8th. Check this second part out now. We're going to go to 21 minutes into this interview. And this is when he's questioned about the corporations and their profiting off taxpayer-funded vaccines. Check this out.
It's fantastic that the research is being funded. And, you know, I hope those agreements in terms of pricing and access are very strong.
I mean, we heard from the HHS secretary say today that the vaccine will be free for Americans, or affordable. So that means the government will help purchase it from companies that are making a profit off of that we helped fund the research for. Do you see any problem with that?
Well, some of the vaccines are being done by companies on a non-profit basis. A few have decided, you know, otherwise. And so if you have equivalent vaccines, you know, the one that's the cheapest will be the one that we go with. And we may have, you know, many choices here that some of which look like, you know, the production costs will be quite low. So I do honestly think both in therapeutics and in vaccines we'll end up that it'll be a very clear deal what should be purchased, and that'll be worked out. Whether people second guess the early barter contracts, that's not really the key issue. We will get a good deal on the vaccine, and we need the world to get a good deal on it.
So right there, I mean, he's a politician. Like he's clearly a trained politician, whether or not he's actually been into politics, because that was a great, you know, avoiding the question right there. He didn't even respond to what she's saying, which is like, hey, taxpayers are funding these vaccines. Then the corporations, which, by the way, Bill Gates, you're invested in and your organization is funding, as well as the World Health Organization and other institutions. And then the American government is buying them. And we have to recognize that government doesn't produce or have anything. All they have is the money that they take via the threat of force and violence, taxation, which is extortion, from the people. So the people fund the production of the vaccines, because the U.S. is giving through to Gavi and to other groups and directly to these companies, and then they're going to buy it back from them. So yeah, it's free because you've paid for it twice. Freaking idiots. All right, let's check this last one out, and then we're done with Billy.
Coronavirus falsehoods that exist. So I want to address some of them. To be clear, do you want a vaccine so that you can implant microchips into people?
No, there's no connection between any of these vaccines and any tracking type thing at all. I don't know where that came from.
And yet there was a poll by YouGov and Yahoo that shows 44% of Republicans, 19% of Democrats, and 24% of independents think that you want to do that. How did this conspiracy start?
I don't know. You know, Dr. Fauci and I are sort of the two most mentioned, and some.
All right, I've had enough of this. I'll link this if you guys want to hear the last 4 minutes. But Bill, how did this happen? Well, because you're out there talking crazy things. You're saying you need to vaccinate 7 billion people in the world, Bill Gates. You're associated with the Rockefellers, who have over a century's worth of history taking over the health field and taking over the energy field and getting involved in governments. I mean, come on, guys. It's clear, Billy boy, why people have conspiracy theories about you. And just as that's the link right there. I put it on all the platforms if you want to go watch the actual video. Just as a little insight into where people think this is coming from, because again, it is important for us to stick to the truth. There are some truths in there, but there are also some people who are purposely putting out disinformation. Now, this is a fact check. You guys know we need to be wary of the fact checkers, but in this case, USA Today is correct. Fact check. The feds did buy syringes that may have RFID chips, but no evidence COVID-19 vaccination is required. So the claim, the Defense Department ordered enough pre-filled syringes with RFID tracking devices to prepare for military-backed forced coronavirus vaccinations. Now, that was being promoted by Mike Adams of Natural News, and I've been interviewed by Mike. He's not credible. He does spread a lot of fear porn. I'm sorry to say it. He's not. If he was ever a credible journalist, he's definitely not these days. Let's just get down to the bottom. So the real thing is there are actual pre-filled syringes, and they're made by a company called Apoject. Right here, you can see they do have a $138 million contract with the Department of Health and Human Services and the DoD. Apoject Systems America, a manufacturer of pre-filled syringes, which was launched as part of the Project Jumpstart and Rapid USA. So these Apoject vaccines, these pre-filled syringes, which could be used for vaccines, they do have an RFID chip on the outside, which is, they claim, is for them to track them from, production all the way to the hospital to use and things of that sort. So no, the RFID chip is not inside, but there are all kinds of other crazy things that, we should be concerned of. My point is, in that case, when Bill's like, I have no idea where this is coming from. Well, it's coming from, for one, the reality that there are pre-filled syringes that have RFID chips attached to them. And we know that people are afraid and concerned, and I think rightly so, about what's going to happen if they're going to be injected with some. We know that, look, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to acknowledge these following realities. Nanotechnology exists. There are mechanisms for inserting medicines and pharmaceuticals into people's bodies. I found this one, hydrogel nanoparticles in drug delivery, which talks about drug delivery systems using something called nanogel, which could be inserted up the nose. And I know there's conspiracy theories where some people think that this is what's going on with the COVID-19 test, that people are actually having nano hydrogel materials put up their nose, and that could be actually what's getting them sick. I don't have the evidence for that, but I know that these kinds of things exist. And so it's not totally out of the question to wonder and be curious why people have these concerns, Bill. And then I want to take you back real quick to April 12th, 2020, when Bill Gates gave another interview and he lied about Event 201. You can see right here in this is his own words. Now here we are. We didn't simulate this. We didn't practice this, talking about COVID-19. And he lies about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because they did simulate and practice a coronavirus epidemic sweeping the world back in October 18th, 2019. And it was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It was involving the CDC, the World Economic Forum, who's now calling for the Great Reset, Johns Hopkins University, who's heavily involved with the fight against COVID-19, and so much more. So no, Bill Gates, we don't trust you. No, Bill Gates, we don't think that you have our best interest at heart. And no, Bill Gates, we are not going to take your freaking vaccine. Okay, I'm just saying it. Like, if you want to trust him, then that's up to you, right? Everything should be voluntary. That's the way I feel when it comes to masks, when it comes to whatever. But it's becoming clear, more and more clear, my friends, that the agenda is not to allow you and your family to have a choice, but to push this on you and to encourage more and more of us to comply. And that might mean you might not be able to work. Your kids might not be able to go to school. You might not be able to travel. You might not be able to get insurance. All kinds of things could become much more difficult once you realize that they're bringing on immunity passports, digital certificates like Bill Gates has talked about, the COVID pass. All of these things are rolling out, my friends. I'm not a fear monger. I try not to be too doomsday-like, but the reality is much of the things we've been talking about for me for the last decade is happening right now. It's happening right now. And I see plenty of people saying, oh, Bill Gates is just a distraction. He's not the top of the pyramid. Look, the truth is he isn't the top of the pyramid. But if you dismiss Bill Gates as if he's nobody, then I think you're misunderstanding. As I said, Bill Gates is connected through a sixth cousin, Nelson Rockefeller, to the Rockefellers. So the Gates and the Rockefeller family goes back decades. William Gates Sr., Gates' dad, he hangs out with the Soros and the Rockefellers and the media pundits. And, there's a history here. He's not just a nobody. He is the current, most important, in-our-face representative of the shadow government, of the deep state, of the powers that wish they were, or as I like to call them, the predator class. He is the current representative of the predator class, and exposing him and exposing his lies and his true intentions is of utmost importance. So again, please, 2 weeks from today, guys, when I hang this up, get to it. If you can, if you've got time today, get on your activism game, get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get elsewhere and start posting, hey, who's joining me here in Colorado, here in Australia, here and wherever you are, and ask, are your friends and family ready to come out and get involved? If you need copies of this flyer, and we have several other types of flyers, reach out to me. If you want to make more, send them to me and we'll get them out there. I need help with this. I'm just one person and a small team. So we don't even have a flyer for August 8th yet. Whoever wants to make that flyer, we'll put them all out there. Let's do this together. August 8th, hashtag expose Bill Gates. everywhere on the internet, in the real world. And let's continue this every second Saturday of every month until we expose the lies of the COVID-19 operation and expose the lies of the eugenicist that is Bill Gates. All right, guys, until next time, thank you so much for tuning in, for all your comments. Thank you to Spiro and everybody else. Remember my 2 asks of you. Push and encourage your favorite content creators to support Expose Bill Gates, to use the hashtag, to make a video, to talk about it, whatever they can. And the second thing is to get organized in your community, create your own events, and start going out there. And finally, remember, this is not left, this is not right. This is about humanity and staying alive and staying free. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free, my friends. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.